viewers, thank you so much for joining me on this amazing episode of Interest Activities. On today's episode, I'll be talking about how to make a PhD in Germany, and with me in the studio today is a brother from Kenya. Please, can you kindly introduce yourself to the viewers?
Thank you, Idris. My name is Steve Wakhu. I come from Kenya. I'm a PhD candidate here in Germany for the last 3 years, since 2016. Basically, I'm at the tail end of my doctorate.
Okay.
I can say it's both a wonderful and interesting and challenging journey.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that beautiful piece of introduction. I would like to know, how did you get this PhD in the first place? How did you apply for it?
First, a little background. I read my master's here also in Germany.
Okay.
That was between the years of 2012 and 2014. So in a way, I think this is the background that set the stage for my PhD journey later.
Mm-hmm.
I finished my master's in international studies and conflict management.
That's great.
In 2014, then went back to Kenya, worked for a year and a half as project manager for a bilateral program between Kenya and Sweden.
Not Germany?
Not Germany, no. Of course, we have a lot of bilateral programs with Germany
as well, yeah?
And mostly with the GIZ.
Okay.
But this specific one was with SIDA.
Okay.
So I was the national program manager.
Okay.
And while I was there, I got this email from my university, Airport University, the brand school. And basically it was giving me an opportunity, like there is a position. Why don't you apply and compete with like the others? If you see if you can be lucky. So at that point, I was also looking for PhD. I made several applications. I was interested in a PhD program in Singapore, and also made some applications in the US and in Japan. But when this opportunity came, I made my application. This competition was quite tough, and we had to go 3 stages of vetting, and yeah, I got my PhD, which was fully funded by the EAD.
Yes. That's really incredible. I mean, you must have had a really good grade. I mean, while doing your masters. I mean, because I think it's quite surprising that it's your school that have that has to like write to you themselves. I mean, not you telling them. I mean, have you ever considered putting in an application before that message came?
Particularly for this at the school, no, I hadn't, because I had not seen any opportunities in terms of my grade. I don't know. I leave it out there for judgment, but I think it was a good grade because I scored a 1.6. That's pretty good in terms of the German.
Yeah, that's
scoring.
That's amazing.
Scoring.
That's really nice.
Scale.
Yeah.
So whether this particular performance in my master informed, I think probably, otherwise that could be a reason why they said, let's ask him if he wishes to apply and compete with others.
Yeah, I mean, I want to believe it's one of those reasons. I mean, they informed you. I mean, it's a very, very nice one. I mean, why didn't you consider them in the first place? I mean, why try?
I had considered several PhD positions in Germany, but also PhD is about competition, where there's an opportunity. Even if you are made aware that there's this opportunity, can you apply? It's all about competition. It's highly competitive. I was not aware that was this. Maybe they just gave me information that there is this, you can You can apply and see if you compete, if you can be favorable. So it's not that I didn't consider, it's only that I was not aware that opportunity, that these chances are there in this particular university.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much. I mean, you talked about your the PhD position itself being competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how did you stand out your application? I mean, what makes it stood out from other applications sent? What are those things you would say you did? That
What I would say first is, if anyone wishes to apply for a PhD position in Germany or elsewhere, you have to really make it competitive. You have to package your application in a way that is attractive. You have to invest your time. You have to invest your academic resources into it. Because for a complete PhD application, you must develop a proposal, a research proposal. You must conceptualize your research that you're going to do in the next 3-4 years. And you must, this proposal has to demonstrate that it's attractive academically. It's not something that you can wake up and just write. You have to research for it. So I believe one has to be ready to really invest a good amount of time in their own proposal, which also is quite a tasking thing. I remember when I was researching for my proposal, it took me about three or so months, sitting in the library in Nairobi, at the Nairobi University, researching about, because my research is on terrorism and human rights in sub-Saharan Africa. My professional and academic background is on conflict, but I still needed to make sure that I am clear about whatever research that I'm proposing to do, and it's going to face with the competition that is out there, because I was not the only one applying.
Definitely.
Yeah, so you really have to package your application with knowing at the back of your mind that there are so many other people who are equally good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for giving us those precious information. I mean, judging by the fact that you did so many things, I mean, to ensure, I mean, this application was a success. I mean, how would you describe the experience so far? I mean, has it been something interesting or something not that? What all those time you invested?
You mean the PhD journey so far?
Yeah.
Well, it's a tough journey. It's really a tough journey. And anybody who wants to go into a PhD program, you must really be prepared. I would describe it in terms of phases. There is the initial phase when you arrive at your graduate school and you're beginning your PhD, and you have this brilliant proposal that you submitted when you are competing for the position with others. And eventually, when you begin working for your PhD on your research, and you interact with your professors, you interact with your students who look into your project in terms of colloquiums, and you share ideas with them, there is this initial phase where you really feel like,
can I do this?
This thing is just not going to work. Yeah, and you find that almost everything that you thought can be done, you realize that there is so much that you don't know. There is so much that needs to be changed. This is a phase that can be very discouraging. You really need to have a lot of academic and psychological strength and a lot of social support around you to be able to do this. And then there is, from that, once you are able to navigate that and you know exactly what you are going to research on, then you embark on the journey to develop your work. This is a very tiring journey, because you have already designed your research, you know your methods that you are going to use, you are clear about your objectives and your questions, what you are going to research on, but then looking for data, designing your fieldwork, and all that is very, very tasking. Sometimes when you're a PhD student, you almost have no social life, because you don't have time, you work like 10 hours in a day, you don't have time to socialize with people, and it sometimes can get a very lonely process. But at the end of the day, I think it's challenging, and one has to be really determined to make through. Yeah.
Yeah. You talked about having this pressure. I mean, with what to do. I mean, most especially as it relates to students and professors. I mean, how would you describe your relationship with your supervisor?
Oh, perfect. Really good. I think I have learned a lot from my professor. I would owe my academic growth to my supervisor and to the university and my faculty.